Those people are bullshit. They're full of crap, and I'll tell you why. It's about what I think what I do is important. I was just doing this, bang, 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 bang. I was teaching week in, week out, 3 years non-stop. No break, no sick break. I wasn't ill, nothing like that. I just kept working. I did not take a holiday for 6 years. And if you do it correctly and you do it the correct way, that is different. What is this? It's an email. Okay, see? You see this, right? This is probably the most important point that I want to emphasize on this video. Okay, so let's talk about rest. This is going to be a controversial topic because you probably have seen on TikTok, YouTube about this hustle culture, right? About working hard every day, having 2-3 hours of sleep and just keep grinding. And you're gonna have the other side of the spectrum that says you need to have rest because it's good for your mental health and you need to enjoy life and you need to make the most of it. I'm going to give you my take on this and I'm going to break down rest and how you should see rest as so that you can understand for you and make a better decision for yourself. Now, if you like these videos and the videos that I've been doing, subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. If you have not watched the previous video, which is 5 things that you have to do after your exams, watch that video first before doing this because I'm literally going to break this down for the videos that I'm going to be doing. So you've probably seen this hustle culture about, oh, work hard every single day, I'm on 2-3 hours of sleep, and they're posting this on YouTube or they're posting this on TikTok. Let me say something to you first, right? Those people are bullshit. They're full of crap, and I'll tell you why. How do you actually know they're working hard every day? They're just making a video. Most of the time they're doing it for the views because they're seeing, oh, there's a hustle culture, let me just show that as well so I can get the views. You don't know that for sure. Take these videos with a pinch of salt because the problem is this culture of like you gotta keep working every single day. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. There are people that actually do that, but those people that actually genuinely do that don't share it. They don't share it because they just get on with the work. The people that actually share this stuff, most of them, they're not doing it. Oh, look, I'm doing all of this stuff. But if you actually look at their lives and you were sitting next to them, they're probably not even doing 90% of the things that they're saying. So you want to take everything with a pinch of salt and be careful. Now, talking about working every day, you have to understand this. There are some people that are wired differently. Some people can work every day and do not feel tired. Some people just love working. That is fine. I respect that. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as they are okay with it and they do not feel burnt out, that's fine. That's okay. But you got to remind yourself that you are not them. And you have to understand that for you, you need to know what works for you. How much work can you do? How much can you do before you need a break? And this is why I want to break this down and make sure that you understand why rest is also important. I'll share a story of myself so that you guys understand where I'm coming from. So for those of you who don't know, one of my business that I run is a maths academy. So I literally teach from year 7, year 8, year 9, year 10, year 11, year 12, year 13. So from year 7 to year 13, I teach. Essentially what probably 15, 16 teachers do, I do as one person. Now in that, I was doing for 3 years non-stop, week in, week out. I was teaching week in, week out, 3 years non-stop. No break, no sick break. I wasn't ill, nothing like that. I just kept working. At the same time, I did not take a holiday for 6 years. So if you kind of see it like that, there was no holiday for 6 years. I've been constantly working for 3 years non-stop. Now, the reason why I did that, I'll tell you this now, is because I was starting from zero, right? I was starting from zero and I had to put the time and effort in. It wasn't for me to show off to people like, hey, look, I'm doing this for this amount of time or I'm not taking any break. I'm not saying this. No one knows. I'm working the shadows because for me, it's not about what other people think about what I do. It's about what I think what I do is important. I wasn't showing off to people like, hey, look, I didn't take a holiday or I didn't do this or anything like that. No, I kept that shit to myself. Do you know why? Because I'm not doing it for other people's validation. I'm doing it because I need to get to a level, so I need to work hard. So this is why you got to be very careful. Like if you're going to do it and it's a deliberate move that you're doing, it's a different story, right? But even then, through that period that I was doing 3 years non-stop, 6 years no holidays, I started to realize I was burning out. I started to see that I was degrading. I started to see that my mental health was getting affected because I was doing the same thing again and again, week in, week out. And I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, my mind's going to start to explode. And this is why I would say rest is important because I've gone through this shit, right? I'm not like these other people that don't even know what they're talking about, but they're just copying from other content and just saying it. I've gone through this shit practically in the real life. And I'll tell you this right now, that rest would have helped me a lot. But you live and learn. The first question to ask is, why is rest important? Well, you got to look at it this way. You've been doing something consistently day in, day out, whether that's working, whether that's doing a 9-to-5 job, studying, for exams, university, whatever that task or activity that you've been doing that for a long time. Right? So you've been doing this consistently day in, day out. Now, when you're doing something day in, day out, every single day, all day, every week, your brain starts getting numb, right? You start getting used to it and you're starting to get into that kind of robotic way of doing things, which means this, you're probably going to get more stressed as well because you don't have breaks, you don't have a rest. Your immune system is probably going to start reducing as well because you're always stressed out with the work that you're doing. But at the same time, your brain is not really expanding. Your brain is not really evolving because you're not letting it to wander. You're not letting it to just kind of just be in the free flow because you're always working. And that's why I realized when I was doing this day in, day out, week in, week out, I realized that I was just like an operation, right? I was operational. I was just doing this bang, 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 bang. But I couldn't take a step back and just relax and take a rest. The reason why rest will help, and it has helped me, now I'm starting to learn this even more, is that it allows my brain to reset. That's what it's going to do to you. It will allow your brain to reset. So it kind of like goes zzz, right? And you're just not thinking about anything else. And when you do that, you're gonna see, you're gonna be more calm. You're gonna be more peaceful. You're gonna be more like tranquille. I've said this before in French, right? You're gonna be vraiment tranquille. C'est vraiment tranquille, right? So you're gonna be more at a kind of peaceful state in your mind. And then what's gonna happen, I'll tell you this is gonna happen because it's happened to me. When I started to take rest and I was kind of taking a bit of breaks as well, my close friend said, Vidhoosh, I can see your face is more lit up. I can see your energy is kind of coming back to how we used to know you. Your energy is lit up, you look better, you feel good, your aura is good about you. And that makes sense. You know why? Because when you're resting, you're not thinking about work. You're not stressing yourself out. You're letting your mind rest. You're letting your mind just kind of relax, be at peace. So you can see the importance of rest, right? That when you do that, it will actually help you in the long run. People think like this, and I did the same thing as well, is that, okay, if I keep working, I'm just gonna keep going harder, right? And I'm just gonna keep getting ahead. But the problem with that is when you keep doing it and you actually don't take a step back just to kind of relax a bit and rest, you are actually going to go downhill. Do you know why? Because it's like a muscle, right? If you think about when you're working out, you need your body to just rest, because if it doesn't rest, it's not gonna grow. People think that the gym is what's gonna grow my muscle. Not really. It's when you rest, that's when your muscle grows. That's a fact, right? When you rest, that's when your muscle grows, and obviously the nutrients and everything as well that you put in your body. So the problem that I went through was that, okay, if I keep working, I thought to myself, okay, I'm just gonna keep getting ahead, I'm gonna keep getting ahead. Cool, to a certain extent, yes. But then there comes a time where you're gonna hit brick wall, right? And when you hit brick wall, you do not have the mental capacity to keep going higher. You know why? Because this is where your body's telling you and your mind's telling you, you need to take a rest for you to get to the next level. And when I did take the rest, and when I started to take a step back and say, okay, you know what? I'm just not gonna think about anything, and I'm just gonna do this for myself, I was able to think more creatively. I was being more open. Ideas started to come to my head. You're going to see that happening for you as well. And so this is why I would say it's important that you do take a rest so that you can take a step back from what you're doing and then come back stronger when you do resume it. So now you're probably asking, okay, what things should I do to rest? Well, it depends on you. Everyone is different. You see, some people like to go on holidays. Some people just like to read books. Some people like to go on nature, just in walks in parks. Some people like just to spend time with their family. Some people just like to stay at home, just watching Netflix. That's also rest. That's not being lazy. You have to understand that rest is different for everyone. People have different ways that they rest, and you need to find that for yourself. You probably know it already anyway, because you're probably doing it, right? You need to focus on the rest that works for you. Do the things that's going to help you to take your mind off things. Don't worry about what anyone else does. Remember, your brain, the way you work, the way you're wired is very different to someone else. Now, this is probably the most important point that I want to emphasize on this video, the way you do a rest, because a lot of people don't do this the right way, and I've also done this many times the wrong way, and it just didn't seem like very effective for me. When you rest, the way you do a rest is so that you do not think about anything that is work related, whether that's exams, studying, whatever. That is completely gone. That is the whole point of a rest. When you rest, your mind should not be focused on anything. It should be focused in the present moment on what you're doing, the activity that you're doing, or even if you're sleeping or dozing or whatever, you should just be focusing on that. There should be nothing that is work related going through your mind, because remember, you're letting your mind relax. Your mind is going to reset during this period. So there's no point in you thinking about that stuff. And the moment you start thinking about those things, your rest is kind of literally being, how do I say, disturbed. But I will say this, it might take a day or two first for you to snap out of this kind of work mode mentality that you've been in. But when it starts kicking in, when you do not think about those thoughts anymore, you're going to feel very different. Trust me when I say this, right? Because everything is going to feel so light. Your mood is going to improve. You're not thinking about work anymore. There's no thoughts about work. Everything is switched off. So anything that's kind of distracting you, whether it's emails, your phone, social media, turn it off. You don't need that. A lot of people, like, they think they're taking a rest, but they're not on a rest. They're on social media. And when you're on social media, you're looking at what someone else is doing. So subconsciously, it's doing something to your mind. Cut that shit off, man. If you want to rest and you want to come back stronger, you need to make sure that you do things the right way. And the right way is you do not need social media unless you're doing something business related that your business requires. That is different. What is this? It's an email. Okay, see? You see this, right? That's a bit ironic. But I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. Is that when you are taking a rest, you don't need a phone. You don't need your social media because that's a distraction and you don't need to see what other people are doing. You are literally resetting your mind so that you're able to just relax and enjoy the present moment. That is what a rest is about. And when I've been doing this, I felt amazing. When I came back after, I felt like a lot more energy. My body changed. I felt more glowy, I guess. Your face glows, your aura changes, your energy improves. You just enjoy the small things in life because now you're not worrying about work. You're not stressed out about those things. You can see, right, the power of rest. And if you do it correctly and you do it the correct way, my gosh, it's going to be such a difference to you. How often should you rest is dependent on your timetable. I would say it's very important to have rests every now and then. Now, that doesn't mean go and sit down on a couch potato every week and just do nothing. You want to make sure that you give yourself enough time to work and you put 100% in your work. And when you do that, take some time off, maybe a day or two off. That's fine. You can do that, right? But you want to plan those rests during your calendar year. So when you look at your calendar year, whether that's from September to July for the academic year, put some time off during those calendar years. So you know, okay, during this week, I'm not going to do anything. And during this week, I'm not going to do anything. So it gives you a visualization and it actually gives you something to look forward to, knowing that, okay, you know what, this week I'm going to have a break. So I'm going to make sure I work very, very hard and I'm going to put all my effort so that I can then relax for my break that I've scheduled in for this period of time. So what I would say is not really, the question is not really how often should you take a rest. It should be more of you try and see your calendar and see where the rest would be needed for you. Because there might be times in your calendar year that's going to be very stressful. So during those stressful period, you want to make sure that, okay, after that, I'm going to take a rest because I just need my mind to reset. I need my mind to relax. It's very different to everyone, right? I don't know your schedule. I don't know what kind of work you're doing. I don't know what your day-to-day activities look like. Don't take so much rest so that you're actually kind of sacrificing your work as well. You want to make sure that you have some sort of balance, but also understand that the rest is needed during those periods of times when you need it. So I hope you started to understand a bit more about how rest works and how you now can apply it to your day-to-day life. If this video has helped you out, subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be coming up with more content like this that's going to help you practically on your day-to-day life. Everything starts from zero. When are you going to start? Peace. Oh my gosh, I need to get a fan. This is too hot here.